Good evening. This lecture, Bezrat Hashem, is Leilui Nishmat Adam ben Zoya. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu have mercy on Nishmato, together with all the other people who left the world in this horrible tragedy that we are still cannot recover from. It looks like the more time is passing by, the agony, instead of going down, is actually going higher. The psychology of the mind of a person makes the person react to certain tragedies in a different way. It's a combination of the conscious and the subconscious of the mind together with the personality traits of the human being. Every person has different traits. Some are humble, some are proud, some are jealous, some are angry. Some people are calm, some are hard-working people, some are more lazy. Together, the combination of who you are and how your life was designed, together with everything you saw and heard in your life, not just in this life, in all the reincarnations that you've been here in the world, because none of us here is for the first time. We were all here in different bodies before. So if we were here X amount of time, for X amount of years, you add all the years of all the lives that we had combined, every minute, every second of everything we saw and heard, it's all recorded in our soul. That's why some people have paranoia for certain things. They react in a certain way when they see something. It's sometimes a reaction of a past life experience. We have an expression called déjà vu, like you come to a place and you feel like you've been there or it happened to you already before. So, when a person sees that a lot of people from his nation are dying, obviously he gets very upset, right? Everyone gets upset. Everyone gets upset. Everyone becomes sad. I was hoping for that. Thank you. So everyone is upset, everyone is sad. Please make sure it doesn't ring again for the next hour. Please put your phone on silent. So everyone is sad, everyone is upset. Some people are totally crushed, especially the closer people to the deceased person. For them, the tragedy is multiplied by many, many more times. And there are two reasons that we react to things. I give you an example. Just 2 years ago, we had COVID, a pandemic, world pandemic. Millions of people died. How many Jews died? More than 20,000 Jews. In Israel, 8,000. In the United States, around here, New York, also few thousand. Europe, few thousands. Together, more than 20,000 people died in a period of 1 year. It got to a situation that 100 people were dying in Israel a day. 96 was the record per day. We were all very sad. We were upset. It affected us mentally. And everything that we feel right now, we felt then, with one exception to the rule. There was no rage. When COVID were killing our children and our friends and our neighbors, we were very broken, we were very sad, disappointed, panicking. You've been there, you know what I'm talking about. But there was no rage. There was no anger. We didn't have who to blame. That's it, it's nature. Virus. Some people blame the Chinese. No. But in general, there was no anger besides the sadness. Now, The main problem right now that we have a lot of anger. The anger that we have, it's towards those filthy terrorists, these Arab terrorists, that for 20 years I already screamed that they are worse than the Nazis, and now everybody finally understands what I was talking about. That they're willing to kill their entire family just to kill one Jew. 20 is willing to sacrifice him and his wife and his 18 children just to kill one Jew. And the Nazis would not agree to lose a finger. If you tell a Nazi you can kill 100,000 Jews if you press this button, but you have to lose one finger, or you have to lose your arm, he would never agree. They would not agree. As much as they hated us, they loved themselves. They wouldn't sacrifice anything to kill us. As long as it was free and safe for them, they'll kill all of us. But if they had to sacrifice one part of their body, they wouldn't agree. But those Ishmaelim, they're willing to kill themselves with happiness just to kill one of us. They're so happy about it. That's their entire being, is just to kill Jews. Nothing else matters in their life. So we are very angry at them now. How could they have done that? How could they have killed innocent people? People dancing in a party, people, children, women, old people. Obviously, they didn't come to kill soldiers. They came to kill Jews. But that's a very big mistake. The rage that we have towards the Arab, it's only because we are not educated enough in Torah. If every one of us will be a Talmid Chacham, learn Torah most of his life, we would know Arabs, Nazis, pandemic, all of that is the same lady with a different dress. Today she wore yellow, tomorrow she will wear white, the next day she will wear brown. It's the same woman. It's the same stick in the hand of God to strike when he decides to do so. So one day he will choose the Germans to do it. And another generation he will choose these Arabs to do it. And then another generation there were the Romans, and then there were the Babylonians and the Greeks and the Persians and so many others. It's the same concept. We reach the maximum level of restricted things that we have done, sins, all kinds of things against Hashem, violated the rules of the Torah. We get to a certain time and we pay the price. And don't you think that there is one Jew in the world that doesn't have a share in it, from the most righteous to the most wicked. Why? Because if we had people in the world that didn't deserve to go through this suffering that we're all going through, Hashem would have not done it. This is one of the principles of the Torah. El emunah ve'en avel, tzaddik ve'yashar hu. When a judge in a court punished a criminal and sent him to jail, he doesn't think about the wife that was staying now 10 years alone with the children and have a nightmare. She's innocent, she didn't know what her husband did. But the judge cannot think about her and the children. He goes by the laws of the country. Same thing in any other country. When someone has a battle with another person and he kills him, he hates him. He has nothing against his wife and his children. They are going to pay the price, really. But the murderer doesn't think about the family. He only thinks about the one he wants to kill. But when Hashem wants to take someone from the world, he checks every person who relates to that someone. If one of them will be fully righteous and doesn't deserve to go through this sadness and agony, the decree would be postponed until the right time will come. That's called tzaddik ve'yasharu. En emunah, el emunah ve'en avel. Whatever he does, it's precisely by the judgment. However, we, the ordinary people that don't learn Torah, and we don't know 1% of what's written in a book of God, even though it's on our shelf for many years, some of us never open it once in our life. And because we are not educated, we have millions of complaints. And we are 100% sure that we are right. We don't deserve it. She didn't deserve it. He didn't deserve it. It's not fair. This is the way we talk. But I want to promise you one thing. All of what we say, it's come from pain. And it's normal. We're upset. We want to let it out. Get it out of our chest. But I want you to know that if we want to fall in the hand of a fair judge, the fair judge is God. He's the only one who actually does everything 100% according to justice. To die young, it's not necessarily a punishment like everyone is sure. No. Sometimes a person came to the world to begin with to be in the world 20, 25 years. That's it. That was his whole purpose. To live here to a certain age, to go through certain experiences, and to leave the world. Sometimes a person comes to the world for one day. A baby was just born yesterday, and the next day he leaves the world. He goes to sleep, first night of his life, and he's gone. What was the whole purpose of the creator of the world? To let a woman go 9 months in a horrible condition, pregnancy, suffering, heat, cold, It's not easy to be pregnant for 9 months. To give birth to a child, go through all the suffering, and not to enjoy him even for 24 hours? How would something like this make sense? The answer is, something like this happened to the student of the Gaon meVilna 250 years ago. One of the Bachurim in Yeshiva got married and had a child. And after a day passed. And then they didn't see the father for a while. The Gaon meVilna asked, where is he? Why he's not coming anymore? They say it's totally crushed. He cannot get out of bed, he's depressed. He asked, what happened? He said, he had a child. And after a day he left. He said, call him, tell him to come to me, I'll explain to him what happened. Now if you know who was the Gaon meVilna, is one of the most righteous people in the history of the world, from the day Hashem created Adam until today. You can put him on the top list. Person who his entire life was learning Torah, he knew the whole Torah by heart in reverse. 304,805 letters. He wrote the entire Torah in reverse. We cannot write our telephone number in reverse. But he had a super, super brilliant brain. From the word beResheet, we just read parashat beResheet on Shabbat. In beResheet, in the word beResheet, he will tell you all 613 commandments in the word beResheet. Ask him one time in Seudat Pidyon HaBen, Kvod Harav, where do you have Pidyon HaBen in the word beResheet? He say, Ben Rishon Achare 30 Yom Tifde, abbreviation beResheet. Ben, son, Rishon, first son, after 30 days, redeem. You gotta redeem him from the Kohen, do Pidyon HaBen. His brain was beyond words. So that student came to the Gaon meVilna and he said to him, this baby in his past life was born a non-Jew. He was a Gentile. At what point of his life he converted to Judaism and became a very serious tzaddik. He went to yeshiva and learned Torah all his life. By the time he died, he was a perfect righteous person. Perfect. To the highest level. In his trial, Hashem asked him, you have 2 options, choose. You can go right now to your place in heaven and be there for eternity. There will be your level. Or you can come back to the world for a very short period of time, just that you will be born as a Jew to a mother and father that keeps taharat mishpacha. The mother goes to the mikveh, she's pure. She was conceived after coming back from the mikveh. The baby is a pure neshama. And you can be born as a Jew, because you were not born as a Jew. And there's no way for you to be born in tahara, in purity. Because by the goyim there's no such thing, nida and tuma and tahara. By the Jews, sometimes you're pure, sometimes you're not pure. All the other species in the world, they're either pure or not pure all their life. It's very interesting. By the animals, sheep, it's a pure animal. Cow, it's a pure animal. Donkey, it's a not pure animal. Horse, dogs, they're not pure. Deer, it's pure. The Torah gives a list of animals that permitted to be eaten, they are pure. Animals they cannot eat, not pure. What's the difference between them? There are animals who murder for a living and animals that never murder. They just eat grass and leaves. The vegetarian animals that never murder for their life can be eaten. Hashem allowed the Jews to eat animals that do not spill the blood of other animals. Animals that murder other animals to survive, we are not allowed to eat. So they're born either pure or not pure, and that's how they stay for the rest of their life. By the Gentiles, obviously they're born not pure because there's no nida by the mother. There's no such thing in the Torah for Gentiles, but the Gentiles can be righteous. Righteous Gentile or wicked Gentile. By Jews, the same thing. Jews, with their behaving, can elevate themselves to a pure level, or if they misbehave, they lower themselves to an impure level. But the level of the Jew can change from day to day, from hour to hour. For instance, if right now he came out of the mikveh, is totally pure, and now he touched something that he wasn't supposed to touch, he became impure. He needs to purify himself again. That's how it works. So that baby, the Gaon meVilna say, Hashem said to that Gentile, you can be born as a pure Jew from a Jewish husband and wife, that the mother went to the mikveh, and now you reach the 100% level. Until now you were at 99. If you will be born betahara, your level in Olam Haba will be higher. What would you prefer? So of course I want to be born. The baby is born, a few hours later he passed. Everybody cries, how can it be? Where is the justice? Where is God? This baby did not even commit one sin. Why he deserve to die after one day, right? Everybody asks these questions. All the questions come from lack of knowledge, what we call ignorance. The less we know, the more mistakes we make. The more we know, the less mistakes we make. Very simple. People that know the entire Torah, in every scenario in life, they know what God wants them to do right now. Everything by them is black and white. Allowed, not allowed. They don't have that many gray areas. People that never went to yeshiva, they don't open Torah, they don't learn. They live like non-Jews. Non-Jews don't have Torah, they don't learn Torah. There's a lot of secular Israelis, secular Bukharians, Persians, Syrians, all over the world, secular Jews. They grew up without Shabbat, without Torah, without yeshivot. They don't know. Sometimes, most of the time, it's not even their fault. They went to public school. Nobody ever taught them Torah. They try to be good people. I'm sure most people want to be good. They don't choose to be bad. But sometimes we are born with negative traits. From a very young age, you can look at your two boys. One is down to earth, the other one is show off. One is quiet, the other one is noisy. One let go, the other one is stubborn, never let go. One is violent, one is very soft. One is smart, one is not smart. One is lazy, one is very hardworking. From a very young age. You can take 3 babies, triplets. They are born in the same delivery. A woman gave birth to 3 twins. 1, 2, 3. Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. You take all 3 of them, you give them a bag of pretzel. Big bag. Each one of them, you give him a bag. You come to Abraham, you say to him, give me some. He looks at you, he gives you one, but he's not happy. Give me another one. By now he's starting to get angry. By the 3rd one he begins to cry. You come to Yitzchak, the next one. Give me, he gives you. Give me more, gives you more. Give me more, gives you more. Give me more, he got the point. He take a little bit for himself and give you the whole bag. You come to Yaakov, the 3rd one. Give me, no. I just gave you the bag, give me one. No. Come, give me the bag. Wow! Begin to scream for 3 hours. You know the kids, they choke on the rug. You want to call 911 for him. He can't breathe. Moshe, do something. The boy is choking. Why? He wanted to take one pretzel. Did you ever think, how can it be? 3 babies born to the same mother and father. They all look alike. They all grew up in the same house. Everything Avram heard, Yitzchak and Yaakov also heard. So they got basically the same education, same environment. One is extremely stingy, one is extremely generous, and the third one is half and half. A little bit of both. Who decided that each one of them will be a whole different character? The laws of material? What? Iron, metal, oxygen, water? Who is responsible for this? If you take the ingredients of the human body, it's less than a slice of pizza. How much a human being worth in a lab? Go to the chemist, say how much minerals I have in my body, weight all of them, weigh on a scale. $2 for that, half $1 for that, some salt, mineral, iron. It won't be even a slice of pizza. But everybody knows when a person passed from the world, we do not mourn like we mourn for a slice of pizza who fell into the mud. If you have a slice of pizza and it fell into the mud, you're upset. Wow, I was just about to enjoy the food. It fell into the garbage. No, after a minute you remember it? No, you move on with your life, right? But someone passed, you remember it for many, many years. Why? It's not a slice of pizza after all, even though that's what the body worth. Everybody knows that the human being is the soul 100%. The body is just the envelope, the cover. When someone sends you $1 billion check in an envelope that's worth 1 cent, if you drop the check to the garbage and take care of the beautiful envelope, put it on the wall, what a nice envelope, we need to hospitalize you in a Barbanel. Right? That's not a normal person. So some of you are laughing, but almost everyone that is in this room is the same. Because everything we put in our life is to our body. Very, very little to the soul. Very little to the soul. The soul needs to be taken care of. The creator of the soul that put it in the body told us how to maintain the soul. The soul doesn't need cigarettes, doesn't need to smoke grass, doesn't need intimacy, doesn't need vacation, doesn't need sport, doesn't need a BMW, doesn't need a mansion in Great Neck, doesn't need to swim, doesn't need business class, doesn't need art, doesn't need any of that. Everything we do in our life, it's to the body. Very, very little goes to the soul. A person can live here 80 years and you can conclude his entire life in less than an hour. His entire life is actually 1 hour old. Why? Because almost every minute of his life was a waste. If a person came to the world and he doesn't even know who created him, he doesn't know what's the purpose of his life, he doesn't know why God put him in this world, he doesn't know what's going to be when he leaves the world, he does not have an answer to any one of his questions. Nothing. He doesn't know one answer to any question his entire life, 80 years. Everything by him is gray. There's no black and white. It's all based on his common sense, what he hears on the street or on TV. He has no idea what he lives for. If you don't believe me, do a test. Standing on Union Turnpike from the morning to night, every person that passed by, come to him, excuse me, sir, can you tell me what's the purpose of your life? If one will know, I'll give you a prize. Interview 1 million people a day. 1 million people. Excuse me, Mr. Smith, Mr. Jones, Mr. this, Mr. Cohen. Do you know what's the purpose of life? No idea. Try. Maybe you can give us an answer. To be successful. What does it mean to be successful? To be rich. Why you want to be rich? That I should enjoy life. What's considered to enjoy life? To have a nice home and cars and clothing and vacation. You could have been a dog for that. No stress, doesn't have to work all his life, doesn't have to sit 3-4 hours in traffic every day. Did you ever see a monkey with gray hair or bald? Did you ever see a monkey that needs a psychiatrist every other day? Did you see a monkey with OCD or panic attack or anxiety attack or depression? Jump on the trees, have 6 females, doesn't have to buy them a drink, doesn't have to invest in each one of them, doesn't have to go to divorce court 10 times in his life. Jump to the water, enjoy the beautiful view, eats well. Wonderful life. If the purpose of life was to enjoy nature and to enjoy what the world has to offer for physical pleasure, you'll be an eagle. You'll be a rich dog in some mansion in Beverly Hills. You'll be a monkey. There are many, many animals that their life is much better than yours in a physical way and they didn't have to spend a penny for it. If the creator of the world put you here and put a soul into your body, it doesn't bother you to know what for? You want to waste your entire life and find out by the time you die that your entire life was a mistake? So, when I was asked to come here tonight, I usually don't cancel one lecture to do another lecture. Because I have a lecture every Monday here in Bet Eliyahu in Fresh Meadow. When Avraham spoke to me, it wasn't easy for me to take that decision. Because what's the point of canceling one lecture to go to, some people go automatically over there every Monday. So we decided we're going to put a sign there for those who go there. It's not that far, so we can still do it. And I thought, out of respect to Adam, even though I never met him personally, but someone from our community had to lose his life in such a tragic way, out of respect to him and to the family and to the community, I decided I come here. When we come to a place when people mourn, you have to do one thing and only one thing. The Gemara asks, what's better? You have 2 choices in front of you. To go to a wedding and dance and eat and enjoy the music and everyone laughing and dancing and happy and or to go to the place of mourners. People that sit and cry. People that feel that their life is in a very, very deep hole. Where you should choose to go to. Every person you ask will tell you, I'd rather go to the wedding. Who wants to go to a place that people said? You see how a person ends his life? We don't want to have such an atmosphere. We would rather go to dance and sing and drink and eat. Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon told us, it's better, the smartest person ever lived, better to go to a place of mourners than to go to a place of people that dance and eat. Why? When you go to a wedding and you drink and you're happy and you dance on the tables, you do not become more righteous even by a bit. Nothing. You came in the way you came and that's how you live. But when you come to a place such as a funeral or a place that the family sits Shiva or a yortzeit like tonight when we speak for the memory of the merit of the soul, L'iluy Neshama, the speaker that comes wake the people up, speaks to their conscience, to their heart, prepare them that one day we're all going to be there. We won't be here forever. Chazal said the life in this world is like a blink of the eye. Black and it's over. Keheref ayin. Before you realize, whether it's 20 years, whether it's 60 years, whether it's 80 years, it flies in a minute. Compared to life of eternity that comes after we leave the world, what difference does it make 20, 60, 80 or 100 compared to eternity? It's nothing. It's like you come to a billionaire and tell him, give me 20 cents donation. No, make it 40 cents. Just take the dollar and go. Don't waste my time, right? Why? You don't care? I ask you for 40 cents. Why are you giving me more than double? It's not worth to waste time on it. What's the difference? 20 cents, 40 cents, or a dollar, right? It doesn't make a sense to even argue. Just take the dollar and go. Take $10 and go. Don't waste my time. That's how short life is. It flies. The question is, once we leave the world, what do we have in our hands to take with us to the next world? That's the key question to life. If we leave the world with Shabbat, mitzvot, Torah, tefillin, chesed, lots of charity, beautiful behaving, we fix all our negative traits, we were attached to the Creator of the world, we live holy life, modest life, great family, great harmony, we put our children to learn Torah and to become kosher Jews, make God happy, and we all go to heaven to enjoy for eternity, like the Torah promised. That's the reward of the righteous Jews in the next world. They sit with a spiritual crown to their head and enjoy the greatness of God. If you're smart enough, you should have tears now in your eyes. You know what it means? For eternity you enjoy the greatness of God. If you just listen to the instructions of his Torah. Torah in Hebrew means oraot, orah, Torah, marat haderech. Torah means book of instructions, how to live. Not just how to be religious, how to get married, how to raise children, how to fix your personality negative traits, how to behave to others, who you're allowed to help, who you're not allowed to help, what you should never dare to be, what you should always try to be. There's thousands of instructions there, what to do, what not to do. If a person never opened the book of God his entire life, how in the world he can be successful in the purpose of his life when he doesn't have any idea what's the purpose of life is? Can you become a computer programmer when you don't know what do you have to program? You come to a computer company, okay, you hired. You'll make $1 million a year. But if you mess up, we will throw you from the window from the 20th floor. Don't mess with us. We pay very generously, but if you mess up, the head of the company is a big mafiosa. You don't want to get him angry. Okay, no problem, I'll take my risk. What do I have to do? Figure it out yourself. Make sense? Make sense or no? Can he be successful? Can he ever succeed in his job? No way to succeed. For sure he will fail. Why? He has no knowledge. Every Jew who doesn't learn Torah and doesn't learn at least the basics, the 13 principles of Judaism, how God created the world. Most Jews in the world today do not even know the first page of the Torah. Some Jews, they don't even understand they have a soul, and the soul is everything. The body is nothing. They don't understand that. We read on Shabbat, if you went to the synagogue, so you know what I'm talking about. beResheet bara Elokim ta shamayim ve'et haaretz. God created heaven and earth in the beginning. Then he separated them. Created the light, created the darkness, created all the species, and in the end, when everything was ready, he created the main one, which is Adam, and made him a partner, which is Chava. Not good for a man to be alone. Man needs a woman. Selo ezer kenegdo. He took from his DNA, from this rib, the DNA, and cloned another person with some changes, some upgrades in the beauty, and made him the prettiest woman ever lived. It's called Chava. Why he did not create Chava by herself, just like he created Adam? Could have done like that, and there would be a woman. Why he has to operate on a man, put him to sleep? Vayapel Hashem Adam al Adam tardema. He put him to sleep, and from him he took a part and created his wife from it. Why is it? Why didn't he create her also? Because every person has his job in a creation. The man has his job and the woman has her job. The woman, of course, without going into this nonsense of feminism, women's rights, all this shtuyot, I'm not even getting there. I'm just telling you what the Torah say. God say, there is a man. The man cannot succeed ever alone without a helper. I have to make him an helper. She will support him, she will cook for him, she will help him to bring children to the world, to continue the race. She will support him mentally, physically. She will give him what he needs for his desires, everything. But one thing she has to know, the only reason she was created is for the man. She cannot be the man. The world today is very corrupted. The people that don't care about God and His Torah try to redesign the world. Women become men, men become women. You see what's going on out there. But that's not the will of the creator of the world. The creator of the world wanted one thing, male and female, not male and male. Not female and female, and not people with animals. Male and female, that's the system. They are a perfect match together, with their body and with their mentality. People want to redesign the world, they deal with the consequences. But those who want to live according to the rules of the manufacturer of the world, in the long run, they will succeed. Those who want to redesign the world according to their own understanding, thinking they know better than the Creator, they will deal with the consequences of their actions later on. Besides the fact that they're damaging the world and the future of the world, and the world already came to a situation that is not going to be able to survive that much more time. As you can see what's happening in Israel, in America, all over the world. But there is only one truth, and that truth will never change. Never changed before, and is never going to be changed ever again. Once Hashem gave us the Torah, that's it. That's how it goes. Even when the world will end, the rules of the Torah will remain for eternity. This is one of the 13 principles of God. When He gave us the Torah, remember, we are the only nation who got the Torah in front of millions of witnesses. Every Jew that stood there heard Moshe and Hashem speaking in a live event in front of their own eyes. It's not like the 80,000 religions that came later, that they're all fake. That one person came and told us a story. Nobody ever witnessed it, nobody ever saw. If he did speak to God, if he got anything, nothing. It's his story, that's it. No witnesses. Like Muhammad. He came and brought them the Quran 1300 years ago. He said that angel Jibril is Gabriel, he gave him the Quran in a desert and made him a prophet. And anyone who will not accept him as a prophet, they must follow the Quran. If not, he will slaughter them. And many people didn't want. They didn't accept him as a prophet. He started to go and kill them. That's how Islam started. Right away with mass murders. Going from one, and people got scared. Okay, they accepted him as a prophet. And we see the results of it now, 1300 years later. How many people saw that he got anything from the angel? No one. He claimed he was alone. Him receiving a prophecy, it's against the rules of the Torah. Now remember, Muhammad never said the Torah it's not real. Muhammad, half of the Quran, he copied from the Torah. They don't eat pork. They call it khanzir. Khazir, khanzir. They don't charge interest from each other. They learn it from the Torah. Their women dress modest. They learn it from the Torah. Many of the things they don't do, they learn from the Torah. He admired all the Jewish prophets. Even in the website of the Hamas, they speak about King David, Dawood, peace be on him. Jacob, Israel, peace be on him. Chizkiyahu, Yeshaya, all the kings, Shmuel, Salman, Shlomo HaMelech, all of them mentioned in their Quran. They learn about our Torah. The Arabs do not deny the Jews got the Torah in Mount Sinai. The Christians do not deny we got the Torah in Mount Sinai. Most of the people in the world, they're aware of the fact that the Jews are the chosen people and the Creator of the world gave them the Torah in a public event after He took them out of Egypt and made them the chosen people. As a matter of fact, percentage-wise, the main people that deny it are Jews, unfortunately. So many people in Israel say, I'm an atheist, I'm an atheist, I'm a non-believer. Go to one Arab, tell him if 1 out of a million is not going to dare to say I'm an atheist. even those who don't practice the law of the Quran. They're willing to die for their religion. When you come to some people, right away, don't try to make me religious. I'm atheist. I was in a show of the biggest atheist in Israel, Amnon Levi. He interviewed me for an hour and a half. Everybody knows him. He's famous in Israel. He has a daily show. 20 times before we started, he warned me. Don't try to talk to me about becoming religious. Ani atheist, ani atheist, ani atheist. But after I spoke to him, I told him, listen, you don't let me finish even one answer. So let's make a deal. Give me 5 minutes to talk without interference, and then you can talk as much as you want. I don't need to talk anymore. 5 minutes, can you be quiet? It was very hard for him to be quiet. He said, Tov, bוא ננסה. He let me speak 3 minutes, not 5, 3. But that was enough. 3 minutes I spoke. I saw literally that he's about to drop dead. His eyes almost came out. I saw he's panicking. I told him, I just saw by you right now nekudat shvira, a turning point. The biggest atheist in Israel. He said to me, you're right, how did you know? I said, from your body language. You got very scared. You realized that what I just told you is the truth. He said to me, yes. Then he continued, and then what do you think happened? 99% of the interview he cut out. He put 3 minutes from the hour and a half. But in the 3 minutes, he put that part that I told him, I just saw you, a breaking point by you. He put that part in. And he said to me, אתה צודק, you're right. And what do you think happened? 2 days later, he was reading Tehillim with the yarmulke in a grave of the tzaddik Miavniel, if you know where it is, in the north. Someone took a picture of him, sent it to me, we put it on Facebook. Amnon Levi, the biggest atheist in Israel, that his entire career is fighting the religion, with the yarmulke reading Tehillim in a grave of some tzaddik. What are the odds? 1 to 1 trillion. What happened? 2 or 3 weeks later, he went back to his environment and forgot about everything. And now, if you ask him, he's still going to tell you I'm an atheist. But there was a moment that he knew 100% that what I proved to him from the Torah, it was real. But the desires and the Yetzer Hara immediately pulled him back to his career. You know, he's very famous. What is he going to say now? I'm becoming Shomer Shabbat? He's embarrassed from all the people there, the lefties, the media, it's all lefties. But this is a proof that the person that is very, very far, in 3 minutes, it was enough for him to get the point. I have a whole seminar. I brought you some books you can take for free. After you read it, there's no way you'll ever be able to be Mechalel Shabbat. If there are any Mechalel Shabbat, you won't be able to after you read what's in my book. I promise you that. I have a whole film. It was translated to 9 languages. It's called Torah Science. One proof after the other. When Jews watch it, they get the shock of their lives. How come we didn't know all these things? If I was able to know all these things many years ago, I would never dare not to be non-religious. I would never dare to do the things I'm doing every day. Everything I'm doing is because I have zero knowledge. Now when I watched that film, it changed my entire way how I looked at my life. I once sat in a Kolbe restaurant, Aleim HaShalom. It was Kolbe restaurant in Main Street. You remember? You probably live here many years, you know what I'm talking about. With the controller of New York State, Allen Avesey. All the money of New York was in his signature. In charge of the FBI, the police, the fire department, New York City. Very, very serious big shot. Came to my lecture in Great Neck. He's a professor for history. He was in the same class with President Kennedy that was killed. Very, very serious person, a Jew. And in the lecture, he argued with me for 45 minutes. And after that, I asked him, Mr. Avesey, what do you have to say? He said, I still have some doubts. I said to him, look, you came here as a complete atheist. 2 hours later, you have only a few doubts left. Why don't we meet one-on-one and I clarify all your doubts? He said to me, I would love to. Would you do it? I said, yes, absolutely. I thought, politicians, they tell you what you want to hear. 10 days later, his assistant called me. How come you never met with Mr. Ravasi yet? He asked me why you don't meet. So is he serious? Tomorrow at 2 o'clock in Kolbe. We came here, I sat with him 3 hours. After 3 hours, he got up. He said to me, in my life, I'm 72 years old. In my life, I never dreamed that a religion can be proven 100% scientifically. I always thought it's a matter of fate. You want to believe, believe. You don't want to believe, it's a matter of fate. You left me zero doubt, nothing. It's very, very clear now. It's all divine, it's all from God. I got the whole point. I said to him, what are you going to do about it? He said, it's too late for me. I'm 72 years old. I'm married to a non-Jewish woman. I just realized through your speech that my children are not Jewish. Where will I even start to fix my life? I say to him, believe it or not, as long as a person is alive, he can still fix. And if he will not finish to fix what he had to fix, he will be reborn in reincarnation and his soul will be put in a new body, and this time Hashem will put him in a place that he will be able to continue from where he left. In a place with Torah, and yeshiva, and a shul, and a rabbi, and good parents that knows Torah. He will continue what he started. So even if one day before you pass, you started to get closer to Hashem, it's written, פתח לי פתח כפתחו של מחט, ואפתח לך כפתחו של אולם. Make the first step towards me, and I will open you unlimited opening. Just make the first step. Just tell me, Hashem, I want to get close to you. I don't want to be ungrateful to you. I don't want to take the oxygen you give me and use it against you. I don't want to use all the money you gave me against you. I don't want to use my family and turn them to do things against you. I don't want to use my body against you. I don't want to use my car and my belongings to use it against you. I don't want to use my mouth against you. I don't want to use my sechel, my intelligence against you. Help me to see the truth and to come close to you and to be successful. That's enough. Once you say such a word to Hashem, which take a minute, you see how your life begin to change completely. I want to tell you, Rabotai, when you come to a place when people mourn, it's an opening and a wake-up call for the entire community. Every person that sits here tonight, if he would leave this room one step closer to Hashem, closer to keeping Shabbat, closer to stop doing things that is not permitted to do. Every mitzvah you're going to do will go to the account of the Neshama of Adam ben Zoya for eternity. Because thanks to him we are all here. This whole entire evening, it's Leilui Nishmat. What does it mean, Leilui Nishmat? I will explain. When a person passed, he has 1 year trial in Shamayim. 1 year, a trial. That's why we say Kaddish for 1 year. Why do you need to say Kaddish for 1 year? Say for 1 week, it's enough. Say for 1 day, it's enough. Say for a month. What do you need for 1 year? Why don't you say forever? Why 1 year? The answer, the trial is Yud Bet Chodesh, 12 months. That's why we say Kaddish for 12 months. Soon we will explain the importance of the Kaddish. So, in that 1 year, a person sees his entire life. Everything he did good and everything he did not so good. After the end of the trial, Hashem decides where to send the neshama. Good place, better place, not such a good place. Sometimes the soul will get reincarnated back to the world. We are all here, and it's very possible that Adam was just born somewhere in the world as a new baby. There's no contradiction. Still need to do things for his L'iluy Neshama. It's very common that people are being born again as reincarnated to continue from where they left. If a person passed before age 13, it doesn't need to be reincarnated. Girls before age 12, no more reincarnation, they finish their tikkun. Why? Because children that pass from the world, it's not because of sins that they committed in this life. They didn't kill anyone, they didn't rape anyone. It's children, they don't know evil to be evil. So the reason they pass is because they finished their tikkun. That's it. It was a little bit to finish all the reincarnations before. People that are older than 20, they may have to come back again to the world and be reincarnated. They can be reincarnated in a regular person. Sometimes they can be reincarnated in plants. The soul can be reincarnated in all kinds of things in the creation for X amount of time. As long as it's reincarnated in a regular body with a free choice, that means the test continue to go on. Now let me tell you the secret of the Kaddish. The world has 4 sections. There is the creator of the world. There is the human being. There is there is the creator of the world, there is the world, there is the human being, and there is the purpose of the world. God, the world, the people, and the purpose. God, the world, the people, and the purpose. The Kaddish is divided to 4 sections for those 4 categories. The first paragraph of the Kaddish, Itkadal v'Itkadash meraba, which speaks about the creator of the world, that his name will be Itkadal v'Itkadash, sanctified. Everybody answer Amen. Why? To divide between the first paragraph to the second category. The second category, בעלמא דיברה כראות, בעולם שברא כרצונו. In the world he created as he wished. Everything you see in the world, שהכל נהיה בדברו, because God said so. We have no understanding. We understand a little bit, but no ability to understand the secret of the world, the creation, the upper worlds, the spiritual world, all the galaxies, all the movements. בעולם שברא כרצונו, בעלמא דיברה כראות. Everybody answer Amen. What's the third category? בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל. In your life, and their life, and the life of the nation of Israel, talking about the people. That's the third category. And everybody answer Amen. And then everybody scream together the 4th section. יהא שמי רבה מברך לעלם לעלמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה ברכו. What's all these things? That's the purpose of the Jew in the world. לקדש שם שמיים ברבים. To make the name of Hashem published to all the nations. To make the goyim impressed by the God of Israel. By us keeping Shabbat, we tell the world that God created the world in 6 days and in the 7th day He rested. We are not allowed to do what He did not do on Shabbat. He did not create anything on Shabbat. We don't create fire, we don't sew, we don't write, we don't cook. We have ways around it. It's very easy today to be Shomer Shabbat with the technology of today. But when the people ask, why don't you do this and why don't you do that? Because God made the world in 6 days and the 7th day He rested. Why God chose the 7th day? Why not the 10th day? Why the week is only a week all over the world, by the way? Even in nations that they don't know anything about the Torah, everywhere you go, the week is 7 days. Go to Zimbabwe, go to the Amazonas, go to the jungles in Costa Rica, in Brazil, in Africa, go to the deserts, to the end of the world, go to Alaska, to the Eskimos, go to the Indians in Canada. They never heard of the Torah. Ask them how many days you have in a week. What do you mean? We have the same calendar. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. 7, it's not a good math. 1 month, 30 days. 30 divided by 7 leaves 2 days extra. It's not an equal math. If the week was 5 days, it would be perfect. 30 days, right? You have 6 weeks in a month, perfect, no leftover. And then 365 divided by 5, everything is perfect, without leftover. Why the week is 7? The answer is because God made the world in 6 days and a 7th day, and it was 1 week cycle. That's it. That's why the whole world, the children of Adam and Eve, spread all over the world, and they continue to do what their parents did. But the question is, why God chose the 7th day? The answer is because everything physical in this world has 6 dimensions. South, north, west, east, up and down. That's 6. 7 is going out of the material world to a spiritual world. Spiritual world has no end. Something that is spiritual is not limited to time. Time exists only where material exists. If there's no material, there's no way to measure time. The world of God is 100% spiritual, is above time. That's why his name, what's the name of God? Look at the sign there. Yud, and the letter A, and the letter Vav, and the letter He. Why these strange 4 letters? We're not even allowed to read it the way we see it. Because that's Haya, Ove, Hiye. Those 3 times, past, present, and future, are in the name of God. Because by Him, everything is present. The past, the present, and the future, it's all present. Because He's above time. There's no past by Him, and there's no future by Him. It's something that we cannot understand. That's the creator of the world. That's why He was always here, that's why He will always be here, and the soul that each one of us has, a part of Him, emerged into our soul. He created the soul, and He took a spark of Himself and attached it to the soul. And that's why the soul will never die. A soul of a person can never die, would live forever. The question is, where the soul go when we leave the world? Time is running out. In the beginning of the Torah, it's written, "Vayitzer Hashem Elokim et Adam afar min ha'adama." God created Adam, sand from the ground. "Vayipach be'apav nishmat chaim." He blew into his nostrils a living soul. "Vayi Adam lenefesh chaya," and a person became alive. When someone asks you, when life began, the answer, when the soul entered the body. Now you have to know when life ends, when the soul leaves the body. The body is the same body. Everything is there. The heart, the kidney, the lung, the liver, everything is there. But nothing functions without the soul. Some people die for 5 minutes and they come back to life. It's called clinical death, out-of-body experience. The soul comes out of the body is dead. You can burn a cigarette on the skin. It doesn't make a beep. The soul is out of the body, the nerve system doesn't function. Once the soul comes right back into the body and he wakes up, he begins to scream, my hands is burning. But when the soul was out of the body, he couldn't feel anything. Why? He still have a nerve system, still have a heart, still have everything. Nothing works without the heart. When the heart goes out, that's death, even temporary. If the soul comes back, you wake up to life. It's called clinical death, mavet klini. People that pass for a few minutes and come back, they can tell you everything that happens in the hospital, in every room. The soul is everywhere, no limit. This is exactly what happened to us when we leave the world. When a person leaves the world, Rabotai, what do you think is the first impression that he has? He comes out of the body, he sees his body on the floor. whether he was killed by someone with a gun, whether he drowned in the water, whether he choked from gas, whether he fell from a building, or whether he just went to sleep and didn't wake up. When the soul exits the body, he's flying in the air like a leaf in the wind, floating above the body. And he looks at his own body laying down on the floor, bleeding, not bleeding, whatever happened to the body. But he doesn't have any pain. The pain of dying is less than 10 seconds. We feel very bad when we see people die in a brutal way, right? If they chop someone's head or they push him from a door, from a window, or anything like that, I get, wow, so scared. Wow, what a horrible way to die. But the actual pain is less than 10 seconds. The soul comes out and there's no pain. That's a 10-second suffering. Now the body is crushed on the floor and the soul is right above it. And slowly the soul begins to rise up until it enters the court of heaven. How does a person die? It's written also in the Torah. Vatetze nefesh Rachel, vatamut Rachel. Our mother Rachel, her soul came out and she was declared dead. What happened when a person passed? The Torah says, Min ha'afar bata ve'el ha'afar tashuv. You came from the sand, from the dust, you will return to the dust. In the book of Kohelet it's written, והנשמה תשוב לבעליה כי הוא נתנה, והגוף יושב לעפר כי ממנו לוקח. And the soul will return to the master that gave it, and the body will return to the sand, that's where it came from. But the soul will go back to the master that pushed the soul into that body. What happened to the first reaction of a person? He just realized that he's not in his body. He sees himself down. He sees everyone else around, screaming, Atzala, police. What's the first thing that comes to their mind? It takes few seconds to digest what's happening here. What does it mean? Did I die? Well, how come my body's over there and I'm here? The answer is a huge panic. Huge. More than you can ever imagine. Why? Because every one of us is in the middle of something. One is preparing to get married. One is building a building. One is renovating a place to sell it. One is in the middle of, moving to a new location. Everyone is in the middle of something in life. And by surprise, he has to leave the world. And he has so many things that he didn't close yet. He didn't write a will, he didn't say to his wife where he hid the money. There's a lot of things on his mind. So what happened now? We are devastated. Give me one more day, please. One more day to organize things. Could be too late. But that's ke'ainu ke'efes. This is nothing compared to the shock when we enter the court of heaven. Chazal taught us in the Gemara that a person when he prays 18 in the end should say a pasuk שמתחיל בשמו ונגמר בשמו, באות האחרונה. There's pasukim in the Torah, let's say if your name is Yosef, you find pasuk that start with Yud and finish with Pei. Why? That you'll be able to say your name in the court of heaven, because people are so panicking and so afraid that they can't even remember their name. When they ask them, declare who you are, what's your name? People are panicking, they can't even talk. Sgula, to remember your name, beyom adin, to say pasuk that starts with the first letter of your name, and this is how much a person panic. Because he knows, that's it, ze olam ha'emet po. If someone passed because he was murdered by a non-Jew, because he's a Jew, that's a very big advantage to him. Why? Because a person dying a natural death, he doesn't get any discounts about the things he did wrong in his life, or she. But if his life was taken by a non-Jew, some anti-Semite Nazi, or terrorist like this, The Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin, page 47, the Gemara say, Met mita meshuna havelech hapara. He gets some kind of an atonement, hapara. Like we do kaparot in Yom Kippur, but that's a big kapara. What does it mean, mita meshuna? To go to bed and not wake up when you're 90 years old, that's not mita meshuna. It's a normal way to die. To have cancer in your 80s and not to survive, that's also a way of life. Millions have it every year. But to walk on the street and all of a sudden some car went on a sidewalk and hit you, that's a strange way to die. It was unexpected. That's not a normal way to die. To be in a field and a horse run and hit you, that's a lightning that came and hit you, also that's a strange way to die. If a goy came and killed you because you're Jewish, it's also mita meshuna, but it also have another advantage. There is a pasuk in Tanakh, Alecha horagnu kol hayom. Hashem, as much as you're upset with us, as much as you said with the way we became, as much as we betray you, as much we were ungrateful to you for all the good you did to us, and as much as you decided to punish us and take us away from the world or whatever the reasons are, please remember one thing, that we paid a very big price for being Jewish. Alecha, for you, horagnu kol hayom. There was now one day from the minute you made us your children, the chosen people, that the goyim left us alone a minute. From the day we got the Torah, 3,300 years, every minute they're after us to torture us. One time it's this goyim and that goyim. Of course, not all the goyim, but overall. Why they came after us? Because we are Chinese? No. Because we are European? No. Only for one reason. They can't stand to hear and to read that we are the chosen children of God. They can't. It drives them crazy. In one hand, they read in the Torah that they admit that God gave us the Torah in front of millions of people in Mount Sinai, that He chose us from all the nation. On the other hand, they don't stop until they make sure all of us will die. How is it possible? The Gemara answers this question. Why the name of the Arabs is Ishmael? Because from the torture we're going to have from them, we're going to scream so hard to Hashem until God will hear us. Ishmael. Ishmael, or like they say, Ismail. The name of the Arabs is Ishmael because we're going to suffer so much from them. We're going to scream to Hashem, and in the end He will save us from them. But until it will happen, you see how much we have to suffer. God put them as a policeman over us. Every time we do something wrong, immediately they show up. Just like Amalek in the time of the desert. In a declaration of the Hamas, Sheikh Ahmed Yassin, Yimach Shimo v'Zichro, that started the Hamas with another guy. You know what he wrote? Declaration of the Hamas, Amanat HaHamas. It's on Google. I copied it to my laptop. The Jews are the chosen people. God chose them from all the nation to give them the Torah. He took them out of Egypt, saved them from the wicked Pharaoh. He brought them to the promised land. He gave them prophets. The more He gave them, the more they betray Him. To the point that they are so ungrateful that even their own prophets they killed. Talking about Yeshaya, Zechariah, the Jews killed them. Menashe killed his grandfather, Yeshaya, Hanavi Yeshaya. His grandson Menashe was Melech Rasha, wicked, killed his own grandfather. Because of that, we the Arabs have to teach them a lesson. That's why I'm starting today the Hamas. And the rest is history. But I want to conclude. If you think that the reason we are dying is the Hamas, that means you have zero faith in Hashem. Zero faith in Hashem. If you think we're dying because of the Nazis, you have zero faith in Hashem. If you think we are dying because of the COVID pandemic, you have zero faith in Hashem. We are doing what we are doing, and every Rosh Hashanah Hashem review what we do, and He decide who would stay and who would leave the world. Not always is a punishment. Sometimes we finish the job. Tzaddikim also pass. Righteous people leave the world. But sometimes people have to leave the world because of their actions. Sometimes they will have another chance to come back and refix in a better environment. And sometimes they won't have a chance. This is all His decision. Sometimes he will use a stick that called Germans. Sometimes he will use a stick that called Arabs. Sometimes he will use a stick that called COVID. There are many, many sticks in the closets of Hashem. And this is what's written in every nevuah, every prophet told us what I'm just telling you. It's nothing for me, I didn't say anything. The Torah talks about the value of keeping Shabbat. That's the attachment to Hashem. Without being Shomer Shabbat, you detach yourself from the Creator of the world. Shabbat, oti v'niu v'nechem. When we say Kiddush in Shabbat, for those of you who heard Kiddush, we fill up the cup, and what do we say? V'shamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat. The nation of Israel observed the Sabbath. La'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. To do the Sabbath for their generations, an eternal covenant. Eternal covenant. ביני ובין בני ישראל אות היא לעולם. Between me and the nation of Israel, it's a sign for eternity. אות היא לעולם. Who is speaking here? Hashem. What do we read? Apart from the Torah, who said that? Hashem. ביני ובין בני ישראל אות היא לעולם. That's the handshake. When you don't keep Shabbat, you throw my hand, say I'm not interested in relationship with you. That's what's written in the Torah 12 times. ביני ובין בני ישראל אות היא לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה השם את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. Hashem created the world in 6 days, in a 7th day He rested. There is one more pasuk after that I'm not going to read to you. If you want, you go to the Torah and see what's written right after that. I don't want to ruin your mood more than what it is already in these hard days. But you should read. If you're searching for the truth, read what's coming there after in the Torah. But, Rabotai, as long as we are alive, it's not late. Today we have 2 reasons to become tzaddikim. One for ourselves and one for Adam. That's why we came here, lichvodo. I remember when I was in Los Angeles a few years ago, there was one Israeli guy, 36 years old, lo alenu, he had the machala and he passed. He had 4 kids, he left a widow and 4 kids. I do not know him, I just saw his picture on a flyer. They asked me, they said that there's a group of boys and girls in their 20s, early 20s, that all of them came to Encino in Los Angeles to keep Shabbat, Leilui Nishmat of that Israeli. For the soul of that Israeli. There was one girl over there, American girl. She started to ask questions. They asked me, can you give a shiur to these 30, 40 guys and girls? Shabbat in the afternoon? I said, yes. The houses there are very big. And I went there and I gave them a shiur. And this innocent girl, who probably is the first time in her life she heard any class of Judaism. She said to me, she asked me a question, and I told her about this life and the afterlife. And the reason that Hashem put us here is a test. We must be righteous. We cannot be wicked. If we will be wicked, we will have to pay the price. Things like this. She said to me, you know, Rabbi, can you change the subject? You're making me very nervous. You scare me, she said. So I asked her, so based on what you're saying, to get scared is a negative thing. So she looked at me like, I said to her, no, it's a good thing to get scared. It's the greatest gift in life. And that's not my opinion. The smartest person ever lived wrote it in his book. King Shlomo HaMelech. Shlomo HaMelech wrote, Ashrei Adam mefached tamid. The more you're scared to go against Hashem, the smarter you are and the better you are. People that are not afraid of anything, they are foolish. They have no brain. Smart person is afraid of many, many things. I should not do this. I'm going to get caught. I'm going to be in jail. I'll get killed. I'll do this. Who wants to get into trouble? His father, King David, wrote in Tehillim, Samar mipachdecha besari. Hashem is one of the most righteous people in the history of the world. Holy, Kodesh Kodashim, David HaMelech. 1 in a billion years you have a neshama like this in the world. And he wrote in Tehillim, I'm sure the ladies will know what I'm talking about. They read Tehillim a lot. What does it say? Samar mipachtecha besari. I'm so afraid of you, Hashem. My skin are chill, goosebumps. I have tzmarmoret from fear. I said to that girl, to get scared of doing the wrong thing, that's a sign of wisdom. Why everyone is afraid so much of fear? I don't understand. Fear saves life. Fear saves families. Fear saves you from jail. Fear saves you from taking drugs and not dying. Fear saves you from getting into trouble with the government. Fear can save you from all kinds of anti-Semites. The more fear you have, the better it is for you. It's a guard. Why Hashem created fear? To save us from doing the wrong thing. So I say to them, to all the people, anyone here can raise his hand and show me 1 hour of his life that he didn't have fear? Forget about the Torah, forget about punishment, forget about Olam Haba, forget about this. In a regular life, without Torah, 1 Chiloni can raise his hand and say, I had 1 hour in my life without fear. There's no such thing. You fear your parents when you're young, you fear your teacher, you fear to fail in a test, you fear the neighbor, you fear you're not going to get what you want. You fear a million things. Later you fear the mafia, you fear the police on the road, you fear the camera, you fear to eat stuff and gain weight, you fear not to get married, maybe you won't get married, you fear maybe you won't have kids, you fear maybe your kids will turn into some horrible criminals. There are millions of things we fear. Huh? If your kid is behaving in a certain way, if your kids are behaving in a certain way, you get nervous. Maybe he's going to come and give you the news you're afraid of the most. So we fear millions of things, every minute of our life. There's only one thing we complain about, that we have to fear God. Why we don't complain when we fear the government, when we fear all kinds of anti-Semite, when we fear health issues, when we fear financial issues? We got used to it. We live with that. It's a part of life. We don't sit and cry over it. But when it comes to a rabbi that warns you to stop going against Hashem and against the Torah because there will be later on consequences, then what the people say? Oh, it's scary, it's fanatic, I wish I wouldn't listen to this. Why is it? Because there is Yetzer Hara. Yetzer Hara doesn't mind you fear people. But when you come to fear your Creator, to go against Him, the Yetzer Hara will convince you you should not fear, don't listen, close your ears, close your heart, and run away. That's the Atzat Satan. And I would like to finish the last minute. You should know, Rabotai, of course, I hope you know, the only reason I'm here sitting and talking to you is out of my love to you. Not chas v'shalom, I didn't come to intimidate anyone or to make anyone more sad than what he already is. The opposite, the exact opposite. That's why I want every one of you to know. You have an opportunity, Gemara said, the Torah says, Yesh Adam koneh olamo berega achad. Now it's the rega. Now, it could be now or never. I told that girl in Los Angeles, where you came from San Francisco. You came all the way here to Encino? Yes. Why? To keep Shabbat. But you're not religious, I told her. I saw from her question, she doesn't know anything. She said, yes, I'm not religious. I saw a flyer that somebody Jewish passed 836, and he left a widow and 4 kids. I felt very bad for him, and they asked if people wants to come to Encino to keep Shabbat for his soul, to call this number. I called the number and they put me in a house here to be for Shabbat. So I say to her, it's unbelievable, very nice of you that you came all the way to here, to Los Angeles, because you want to keep Shabbat for a Jew that you don't even know who he is. Just saw a picture, a flyer, and you were willing to come all the way to here and keep Shabbat, supposedly give up a day of your life to some stranger you never met. But I have one question for you, and that's my question to every one of you here tonight, and we finish here. I say to her, it's very nice that you did something for the soul of this guy Isaac. But what about your soul? Your soul is less important than the soul of the deceased Isaac that you came here to give him respect? Your soul is less important? You're willing to help the soul of someone you never met? It's beautiful. Chesed. Chesed עם המתים. It's unbelievable chesed. אבל you have to start with your own soul. אם אין אני לי מי לי. If I won't take care of my own soul, who is going to take care of it? Hashem put me in this world to save my own soul. And that's what you have to take with you home tonight. Benji, you have some books. Anyone here that is still struggling in Shabbat, in religion, please give him a book, a gift. Read the book. It's going to change your entire life and the entire way you look at life. If you didn't have a book, just put my name in Google. Rabbi Yosef Mizrachi, Torah and Science. Watch that film. It's going to give you the answer to every question you ever had. I promise you this. After you watch that film, life will be a lot easier. And to the family, I wish you, Bezrat Hashem, that you should have no longer sorrow and pain. Hashem give you the strength to handle this situation. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sometimes smack us, but He give us the strength to handle it. Baruch Gozer Umkayem. Bezrat Hashem, you should have a lot of blessing from here going on. And Bezrat Hashem, I'm sure that the night, the Divrei Torah that we did here, and what we continue to do after every one of the people here tonight, and those who listen live now all over the world, that will give a great comfort to your son, to Adam, Bezrat Hashem, יהיה נשמתו צרורה בצרור החיים, וכן יהי רצון ונאמר אמן. רבי חנניה בן הקשיא אומר,